other important things I think that came up in this chapter is the idea of the labor migration and labor movements on the island. There were labor movements on the island already in the 1890s before the U.S. occupation of the island. But that just continued to grow. The labor movements continued to grow at the turn of the century. Workers began to claim their rights to assemble and express themselves and act jointly, which they were guaranteed these rights by the Bill of Rights of the U.S. Constitution. Right? 1917 is, what happens in 1917?
World War I, or America enters World War I.
The U.S. enters World War I, and there's simultaneously the Jones Act.
Right.
The Jones Act does what? So we have Puerto Ricans become U.S. citizens, and U.S. enters World War I. Conveniently, why? Why is that convenient for the U.S.?
Does that you could specifically refuse it? Was that was it like a phenomenon of people doing that, or that just didn't happen?
They could refuse to become U.S. citizens?
Yeah. Does that mean that was happening, or just
I didn't hear about it. I don't remember reading much about people refusing. And even if they did refuse, I mean, what
would they be, since
they wouldn't have international citizenship then, right? I mean, where would it leave them if they have no U.S. citizenship? Puerto Rican, but Puerto Rican citizenship wasn't recognized internationally. Not that they would, but you know, so there wouldn't.
De facto, they can go back to Spanish citizenship.
No, because they had been lifted, right? They'd probably have to leave if they were granted Spanish citizenship. So they really would have, I mean, the significant
doors for themselves, and they would just get stuck on their island.
Right, they wouldn't be able to. There would be
no
that
cash crops or anything to actually
the inability to
produce anything.
Mm-hmm. So that denying or rejecting citizenship, there's no alternative citizenship that they could claim, right? I mean, if they claim Puerto Rican, their own Puerto Rican citizenship, which even not that long ago someone did, is that right? It's not a citizenship that's recognized internationally, so it's really not. It's not a citizenship like other citizenships that would be recognized by an international community.
Right.
Okay, so we have that, and of course, with the U.S. entering the war, that opened up jobs, the need for more workers on the East Coast, the eastern seaboard, really. So you have that migration opening up also, and that really brings us up to where our readings are for today, because because the men who migrated early in the 20th century, these four that we read today, they're a part of that time period. They came in those very early decades to look for work, right? They weren't part of a labor migration such as the one that went to Hawaii, but there certainly was a lot of recruiting going on for Puerto Ricans to come to New York and to come to other parts of the eastern seaboard, saying that, you know, there were a wealth of jobs for people who were willing to work.